How does a boy from rural Ireland with a banjo in his hands go on to change the face of Irish music across 2 continents and use it to connect cultures and fight for social justice? In this video, we talk about the story and life of Mick Moloney, from his first notes in small town pubs to becoming a global ambassador for Irish music and a champion for musicians everywhere. Mick Moloney was an internationally acclaimed musician, academic, teacher and social activist, whose profound influence shaped the landscape of Irish traditional music in the United States for much of his life. His passing on July the 27th in 2022, at the grand old age of 77 in Manhattan, New York City, marked the end of a remarkable journey that saw him not only revive and elevate a cherished cultural heritage, but also bridge diverse musical traditions and champion social justice causes worldwide. Born Michael Moloney on November 15, 1944 in County Limerick, Mick's early life was steeped in a rich cultural environment. His father, Michael, served as head air traffic control officer at Shannon Airport, while his mother, Maura, was a primary school principal in Limerick, providing a backdrop of both professional rigour and cultural engagement. The deep musical traditions of Sliabh, a region known for its distinctive music, influenced Moloney significantly through his grandmother, laying an early foundation for his lifelong passion. But how did a teenager with a banjo in rural Ireland end up shaping Irish music on both sides of the Atlantic? At the formative age of 14, Moloney's musical horizons expanded dramatically as he discovered American folk singers such as the Weavers and Burl Ives, alongside the iconic figures of Woody Guthrie and Lonnie Donegan. He recounted that the passionate feelings those songs awoke within him inexorably guided him towards the great local musicians and singers in the southwest of Ireland where he had lived. This exposure fostered a profound sense of his own heritage and culture, connecting him deeply to the traditional songs and tunes of his homeland. Moloney's hands-on musical journey began at 16, when he started playing the tenor banjo in 1959. His dedication extended beyond the banjo, as he had also learned to sing traditional songs and master the guitar and mandolin. Recognizing that traditional instrumental music wasn't widely played in his immediate vicinity, he would make regular journeys to Ennis and County Clare, situated just across the River Shannon, to immerse himself in the vibrant pub music scene there. To internalise the tunes, he would meticulously tape record them, allowing him to bring them home and learn them at his own pace. And this is a very common practice among beginners and experts to the traditional music scene. Academically, Moloney pursued a bachelor's degree in economics at University College Dublin. However, his musical endeavours continued to flourish. In the mid-1960s, he co-founded the Emish folk group alongside Donal Lunny and Brian Bolger, marking his entry into the ballad group movement of that era. This period honed his skills and broadened his perspective on Irish music. In 1969, he joined the Johnstons, and this is a family group that had already achieved success in Ireland. For about 5 years, Moloney toured and recorded extensively with the Johnstons, producing several albums and gaining significant performance experience. Notably, their up-tempo rendition of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now even charted in the United States between 1968 and 71, showcasing his early reach across the Atlantic. Prior to his emigration to the US, Moloney briefly relocated to London, where he engaged in social work, assisting immigrant communities. This early exposure to the challenges faced by immigrants likely informed his later commitment to social justice. But after chart success and years on the road, where could Moloney's journey possibly take him next? In 1973, Moloney made the pivotal decision to emigrate to the United States, initially settling in Philadelphia. He would later become an American citizen. Upon his arrival, he immediately recognized a distinct difference in the musical landscape compared to Ireland. He observed that traditional Irish music was not widely heard outside of private homes, lamenting the absence of a public scene or concert circuit as it is known today. However, the 1970s marked a turning point, ushering in a period of revitalization for the genre in the United States. Moloney credited the 1977 television dramatization of Alex Haley's groundbreaking book Roots as a significant catalyst. This series, he noted, gripped the imagination of the nation and set in motion a search for cultural roots and heritage among Americans of all ethnic backgrounds. This burgeoning interest fostered an environment where the notion of America as a multicultural society, received sanction for the very first time at an official level, leading to increased state funding for ethnic arts. The Irish community, with its established societies and organisations, was well positioned to benefit from this shift. While establishing his presence in the United States, Moloney continued his academic pursuits, undertaking graduate studies in folklore at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. This academic grounding would later provide a scholarly framework for his deep engagement with traditional music. In 1973, early in his time in Philadelphia, he investigated the Irish Musicians Union and noted a striking fact. Out of over 1,000 names on a list dating back to 1918, there were 0 women members. This observation likely fueled his later efforts to champion female musicians. But we'll get to that in a little while. His early recordings in the United States included the 1973 album We Have Met Together on the Transatlantic label. In the 1970s, he also released 2 albums in collaboration with Derry fiddle player Eugene O'Donnell. These efforts laid the groundwork for his prolific recording career. A seminal moment in his American career came 3 years after his arrival in 1976 or 77, when he co-founded Greenfields of America, an ensemble dedicated to presenting Irish musicians, singers and dancers. This groundbreaking group toured extensively across the United States, becoming a vital platform for many of the finest Irish musicians, dancers and singers living in America. The ensemble's significance is highlighted by its inclusion of future Riverdance luminaries such as Michael Flatley, Gene Butler and Eileen Ivers, demonstrating Moloney's keen eye for talent and his pivotal role in bringing traditional Irish music out of pubs and parlours and placing it on stages and in concert halls. The 1980s saw Moloney further solidify his reputation as a performer, producer and cultural advocate. In 1980, he released his second solo recording, Strings Attached, which notably became the first album of traditional Irish music performed entirely on banjo and mandolin. This album featured 2 tunes by the young Chicago fiddle player Liz Carroll, showcasing Moloney's early support for emerging artists. Concurrently, he was actively producing albums for other musicians, including James Keane and Billy McComiskey, and compiling an anthology of tunes by the esteemed fiddle player and composer Ed Reevy. Yet beyond performing and producing, Moloney was about to take on a role few before him had dared, reshaping who got to be heard in Irish music. Moloney was a pivotal figure in championing women musicians in Irish traditional music, a field that had been historically male-dominated. He was instrumental in establishing the concert series in 1983 that led to the formation of the influential group Cherish the Ladies, which featured Joni Madden. In 1985, he served as the artistic director for the Cherish the Ladies Festival in Manhattan, specifically organised to highlight female musicians. He also produced their album, Irish Women Musicians in America. His mentorship extended to many future National Endowment for the Arts fellows, including Joni Madden. Moloney himself had observed the significant shift in female participation in public Irish music since the 1970s, noting the pioneering role of women like Liz Carroll in changing the previously all-male landscape. His dedication to nurturing new talent continued with his production of Seamus Egan's debut recording, Traditional Music of Ireland, in 1985, and Eileen Ivers and John Whelan's Fresh Takes in 1987. He also recorded There Were Roses in 1985 with Robbie O'Connell and Jimmy Keane, which featured a classic rendition of the title track. Moloney's academic pursuits culminated in 1992 when he was awarded a Doctor of Philosophy in Folklore and Folklife from the University of Pennsylvania. His doctoral dissertation, titled Irish Music in America, Continuity and Change, underscored his deep scholarly interest in the evolution of Irish musical traditions within the American context. Following his doctorate, he dedicated himself to academia, teaching ethnomusicology, folklore and Irish studies at various prestigious institutions, including the University of Pennsylvania, Georgetown University and Villanova University. His most significant academic appointment came at New York University, where he was named a Global Distinguished Professor of Music and Irish Studies, and played a crucial role in integrating music into the core of Irish Studies programs in America. Moloney's expertise also extended to media and public outreach. He served as music director for significant BBS documentaries including Out of Ireland in 1994 and The Irish in America Long Journey Home in 1998, further solidifying his role as a cultural bridge. He also hosted nationally syndicated folk music series on American public television. His commitment to cultural advocacy was comprehensive, encompassing hundreds of radio interviews and performances. His immense contributions did not go unrecognised. In 1999, Moloney received the National Heritage Fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts, widely regarded as the highest honour a traditional artist can receive in the United States. This prestigious award was presented to him by Hillary Clinton. In the same year, he was named Traditionalist of the Year by the Irish Echo. This is the oldest Irish-American newspaper in the United States. These honours marked a high point, but Moloney was only just entering one of the most productive phases of his career. The new millennium saw Moloney continue his prolific output and expansive cultural work. In 2000, he was awarded a Pew Fellowship in the Arts. His significant scholarly work, Far from the Shamrock Shore, The Story of Irish-American History Through Song, was published in 2002, accompanied by a supplementary CD. This publication drew together decades of his performance and research, offering a comprehensive look at Irish-American history through the lens of song. Moloney's collaborative spirit extended to institutions like the Tenement Museum, where his expertise was essential in researching the lives of Irish immigrants Joseph and Bridget Moore. His collaboration enabled the museum to understand how music was central to the world of 19th century Irish Americans on the Lower East Side, helping thousands of visitors connect with those stories through the songs. His interest in connections between diverse cultures was a hallmark of his career. He was particularly drawn to the lesser known and less well researched connections between Irish American and Jewish music, as well as Irish and African American music and musicians. His album If It Wasn't for the Irish and the Jews in 2009 specifically explored early songs of the Irish American community, focusing on the commonplace collaborations between Irish and Jewish lyricists and composers in the heyday of vaudeville and Tin Pan Alley. This work highlighted a charming story of decades of good-natured ethnic flux, competition and cooperation that left a lasting imprint on American popular music. But his next great focus would be an even more complex question. How did Irish and African American music intertwine to shape America's cultural identity? His collaboration with Lenny Sloan, spanning over 30 years, aimed to help Americans understand the interconnectedness of Irish and African American music and dance traditions, promoting what Sloan called a gumbo culture. This work is crucial for the Tenement Museum's future exhibition on African Americans who lived in nearby tenements, demonstrating how Moloney's research continues to illuminate shared cultural histories. Moloney organised numerous concerts and lectures emphasising these synergies. One notable programme in his Celtic Appalachia series featured the Malian musician Hai Kamalij Bate, performing on indigenous African instruments that predated the banjo, illustrating Moloney's passion for exploring global music links. He also collaborated with the Filipino vocalist Grace Nono, among other international musicians. At New York University, Moloney brought music into the heart of Irish studies. He founded the Washington Square Urban Shamrock Orchestra, which fostered a love for Irish music among students and provided a unique platform for them to engage creatively with their research. Daniel Neely, a former student and collaborator, recalled how Moloney afforded him the opportunity to be creative with his research, playing gigs around the city to finance their album. Moloney was an extraordinarily prolific recording artist, having produced and or performed on approximately 125 albums throughout his career. His solo recordings included McNally's Row of Flats, 2006, and If It Wasn't for the Irish and the Jews in 2009, both delving into early songs of the Irish American community. He was recognised multiple times as the best tenor banjo player in America by Frets magazine. And it was around this time that Ireland, America, and the wider world began to formally acknowledge his contributions. Yet the greatest recognitions were still to come. His contributions were widely honoured globally. In 2013, he received the Presidential Distinguished Service Award for the Irish Abroad, presented by President Michael D. Higgins. Higgins, upon Moloney's death, noted that his passing was a loss to the musical heritage of Ireland, to Irish America, and to Irish music worldwide, emphasising Moloney's generosity of spirit in sharing his talents and passion. In 2014, Moloney received the T.G. Ceathair Gradam Ceol Award for his outstanding contribution to traditional music. Moloney maintained a deep and long-standing relationship with the Irish World Academy of Music and Dance at the University of Limerick. He shared a passion with the Academy's founder, Micheál O'Sullivan, for nurturing emerging musicians and dancers, particularly at the intersection of Irish and other global musical traditions. He served in various capacities, including visiting lecturer, consultant, external examiner, and adjunct professor, and was instrumental in developing the Academy's traditional music programs. He curated significant events like the Banjo concert in 2007, which featured leading Irish banjo players of this day. His involvement also strengthened ties between the universities in Limerick and New York, participating in research, collaborations, and events like the Glucksman Ireland House 10th Anniversary Conference in 2003. Beyond his musical and academic pursuits, Moloney exhibited a lifelong and profound commitment to social justice. His early work assisting immigrant communities in London foreshadowed his later humanitarian efforts. In the last 2 decades of his life, he divided his time between New York and Bangkok, Thailand, where he volunteered as a music therapist and teacher for abandoned children with HIV at the Mercy Centre in the Klong Toi slums. His tireless work also took him to Vietnam, Cuba, Myanmar, and refugee camps along the Thai-Burmese border, solidifying his legacy as a global leader in inclusive music practices. Moloney was renowned not only for his professional achievements, but also his remarkable personal qualities. Friends and collaborators consistently described him as warm, generous, and tireless in his support. He fostered a profound sense of family among those he worked with, bringing people together through his magic and teaching them the power of convening. He mentored countless individuals, from young Irish-American musicians like Joni Madden, Eileen Ivers, and Seamus Egan, to his students at NYU, always cultivating younger artists, even as a star himself. Brenda Castles, a collaborator, highlighted Moloney's selflessness, noting that he really wanted people to feel good about themselves, often sacrificing his own preferences to achieve this. His energy was notably youthful and his interest in various subjects constant, even into his late 70s. He was known for his consistent phone calls rather than texts, even at late hours, reflecting a personal touch that endeared him to many. His vast collection of knowledge, including interviews and personal papers, is preserved in significant archives, notably at New York University's Tamiment Library and the University of Limerick, where many of his items are being sent, ensuring his intellectual legacy endures. While the archives safeguard his contributions, the final chapter of Mick Moloney's story stands as a testament to a life lived fully in music, culture, and humanity. Mick Moloney continued to perform and engage in his diverse projects until his final days. He had played at the main Celtic Festival less than a week before his passing on July 27, 2022. He died at his home in Manhattan at the age of 77. The cause of death was not publicly announced, and his last words to his longtime collaborator Lenny Sloan were, "Mind yourself." In the wake of his death, a poignant and deeply symbolic musical wake was held in his honour at the Tenement Museum, a venue deeply connected to his work. This event reflected the rich traditions of both Irish and African American cultures that Moloney had studied and brought together throughout his career. The wake incorporated several rituals: the pouring of libations, drumming, the mournful singing of keening, and the unique Hour of the Wolf, during which men would symbolically dance the corpse for one last time. The evening concluded with the tradition of waving white handkerchiefs, symbolising the release of spirits, a practice born from necessity when doves or painted pigeons could no longer be afforded. The event served as a testament to Moloney's profound impact on countless lives, with his friends and mentees sharing memories of his generosity, tireless support, and unique ability to connect people and cultures. Mick Moloney's enduring legacy is multifaceted and continues to grow. His work ensured that Irish traditional music in America was not only preserved but actively revitalised and brought to wider audiences, moving it from private gatherings to public stages. His scholarly contributions provided a crucial academic framework for understanding Irish-American musical history, while his tireless efforts as a producer and mentor fostered an entire generation of talented musicians. His commitment to cultural bridging, particularly between Irish, African American, and Jewish musical traditions, championed inclusivity, and revealed previously overlooked connections. Furthermore, his humanitarian work abroad demonstrated his belief in music's power as a tool for social justice and healing. The posthumous conferral of the Honorary Doctor of Letters degree by the University of Limerick on March 26, 2024, further underscored his immense and lasting global influence. Mick Moloney's life was a testament to the transformative power of music, scholarship, and compassionate engagement, leaving an indelible mark on both the cultural and social landscapes he touched. Thanks a million for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed diving into the life and legacy of Mick Moloney with me. I want to give a special shout out to all our channel members. You're the reason we can keep these deep dives into Irish music going, and your support means the world. If you're not yet a member, consider joining to get access to exclusive content, behind the scenes updates, and a closer connection to the channel community. And don't forget to check out the website, insideirishmusic.com, where you'll find more articles, insights, and of course our shop, full of Irish music merch. I've also added a good few more designs there, so have a wee look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell as well so you won't miss future videos. And as always, share your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing from you. Alright, so hope you all have a great day. All the best. Slán go fóill. Cheers.